What's up, YouTube? Backrows52 here, coming at you with a card discussion. We're going to talk about the top traps of this next format. Now, I'm not going to talk about trap staples that we've been seeing in almost every deck. The new trap trinity of bottomless, compulse, and torrential. I'm not going to really discuss about those because most people are going to put those in their lineup anyway, and I don't believe that those cards are going to define the format as much as these other four traps that I've looked at. Also, I do see as the format progresses, more people becoming creative and seeing that a strong back row is going to be what causes victories in the game. That, those stereotypical ones are not going to beat some of the faster decks, that they need to be creative and look at certain cards to definitely help them. Now, in making this list, I also wanted to pick traps that were not deck specific. Cards like Icarus Attack, or that only helps Winged Beast decks, and cards like Infernity Barrier, which only helps the Infernity deck, I didn't really want to look at, because even though I think that those are powerful cards that can define a format where any deck is possible and playable, and Dragoonides and Harpies are going to be very playable, I wanted one where the Fire Fist deck, the Mermail deck, or any other random deck you run could run these. So that's where I'm going with these. So without any ado, let's go on. So first I'm starting off with Breakthrough Skill. I think Breakthrough Skill was obviously, it was a popular card in the last format. It still is going to be a popular card, and I think it's going to gain popularity going through this format. So first reasoning being Heavy Storm's gone. With Heavy Storm being gone, most people are running two main decked MSTs. So you set this, and if they waste their MST on it, yes, you don't get that first effect negation, but you still haven't really lost out. Your opponent's hit a card that, maybe you would rather them hit other than your Compulse or your Torrential. So that goes to the grave, and you can still use it later by banishing it and negating the face-up effect. So a plus there. Also, I see Veiler losing a little bit of play, still being very powerful and potent in a lot of decks, but maybe losing out popularity for when the side-decked Defissure or Macrocosmos comes into play and your Veiler becomes dead in hand. So this one gets around, the Defissure. Doesn't get around the Macro as much, but still you can set it, get the effect more so than the Veiler would. The next card, Vanity's Emptiness. Now, a lot of people have started playing this. It's been a really popular side card. I see it as a progressively more powerful main deck card, especially with the Dragon Ruler deck, where they reveal the card in their hand that they're going to banish the special summon, flip Vanity's Emptiness, prevent the special summon. It's going to, even against Fire Fist, Wolfbark summoned, affect Wolfbark, flip the Emptiness, prevent the special summon. It's going to be one that I think we see more play of. If your opponent's about to explode, you just drop this, stalls them, slows them down. They have to get a card to the graveyard before they can think about extending or doing any big play. So definitely a very strong card. Splashable in any deck, because any deck out there has one way of sending cards to the graveyard. Fire Fist send a Tinky to pop a card, or Fire Fist send cards, Dragon Rules can discard, all of those. So it's an easy removal, it's a quick freeze, it's just going to be very powerful and definitely have an impact on a lot of decks. Next is Trap Stun. I've been seeing a lot of this played at my locals. I've seen a little bit, didn't see too many in the YCS Toronto. I saw a few, but really Trap Stun's going to be, I think, one that, with all the trap heavy decks that we saw, Infernities, a Harpy deck, there's going to be a time when you want to go off, you want to be able to make a big play and a big push, and you don't want to lose your cards out to any back row. Trap Stun is a perfect OTK push. Flip Trap Stun, activate, they can't activate their traps, make your big field, push for game, or you summon a monster, your opponent's going to, you summon, example, Fire Fist Bear. You really need Bear to go off, really need your Wolfbark to go off to be able to plus. They bottomless, you Trap Stun, protect your monster, and can go the rest of that turn not worried about their back row. So I see Trap Stun really kind of being the the answer to the heavy back row. Even though they hit a lot of the one-ofs, there's still a lot of trap cards that are going to be major effect, that are going to have just a major effect on the game. And so I see more decks running Trap Stun, at least as a side deck, but I could see one or two being a main deck for that trap lineup that you're looking for something that's easy to slide in. The last card, which I think is really going to be the most powerful card this format, I think that it hasn't been overlooked, but it's not been in a lot of big decks, has been Safe Zone. Safe Zone, obviously, I mean, it's a $20 to $30 card for a reason. Everyone knows how good it is. But I think that not as many people have realized how powerful it is in this format. When you look at the back row, the new Trinity that everyone seems to be running now, with Compulse, the Torrential, and the Bottomless, Safe Zone stops all of that. Safe Zone also prevents any of the other traps like Mirror Force and Deep Prison from going off, because the monster can't be targeted and can't be destroyed. So I do see Safe Zone becoming... I've been running it in Fire Fist, and honestly, I've been absolutely loving it. It's a way that I can get bigger plays off. They try to go after my bear, I can protect it. I summon my bear, have a backup plan falls through, go Safe Zone. Also, we're down to, as I was saying, no Heavy Storm, 2 MSTs in most decks. Safe Zone has a higher likelihood of staying on the field, and you have less fear when you hit your Safe Zone. Hit your monster, protect it. There's also been a lot of plays with Safe Zone and Master Key Beetle. Hit your Key Beetle, protect the Safe Zone, so you have just a monster that's not going to die at all and stall out the game until you can explode. So I've definitely seen more and more decks running Safe Zone, and I think that if you're looking at a deck, if you're looking at, Fire Fist, or you're looking at a deck that really needs some kind of back row and some kind of protection, if you have Safe Zone, I would run Safe Zone. So those are the cards that I'm thinking about, for the traps that I'm thinking about this format, that pretty much almost any deck can run. And I think that we're really going to see a lot more play as we progress along in the format, and more decks come out, and more people are a little more creative as we have more regionals and more big tournaments to kind of see where this format is going. So please comment about traps that you guys think are going to be big, what you guys feel that, about these four, where you see them going, and maybe what decks you see as really being the defining decks in this format. So please like, subscribe, comment, and I'll talk to you later.